Okay. Yep. Thanks, Stefan. And this is going to be pretty cool. I got my own little touchpad here. Okay. If I go into my laptop, and we fix this like this. Okay. Into there. So, what's really interesting is technology can give us the less is more design factor. If you take, for example, the iPod, it's simple, it's clean, it's lightweight, it's user-friendly. But in the car industry, we're not quite there yet. To me, working with the environmental issues on the interior, it's not just about the actual materials. It's also about the environment and what we do. This is the S80, the new S80 interior, and I'm really proud of the simple Scandinavian design that we got in here. But as consumers, we make choices. So if we look at interior design of cars, we also have to consider what features do we really need? Or to put it like this, what can we live without? Okay, this is going to be painful, but let's take a look at some of the items that we could actually take out of the car. Could we, for example, live without cup holders? Well, I get 8 cup holders in this car, and around twice a week I get a request to put more cup holders in. So maybe not, but okay, for the sake of the world and for the environment, I'm going to take them away anyway. Airbags. Can I take away all the airbags? I can take them away from the steering wheel, from the seat, from the rails, from the side rails, side protection. I can take away a lot. If what I believe Nicholas is correct in saying, we can actually take this all away, so we can get rid of the seat belts as well. Okay, so what next? Air conditioning? Yeah, let's get rid of that. I mean, you can just turn it down, which is also going to have an effect on the environment as well. But we need to save weight and we need to preserve energy consumption. So what else can we get rid of?
I know, deco panels.
Yeah. Wooden deco panels, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of all this weight. Transmission, what do we need that for? Okay, CD player. You can always take an MP3 player into the car, save weight. Something else? RTI, Road Traffic Information System. Get a map. HMI. Anybody need that? Okay, the speedo and the rev counter. Drive as fast as you like. And also the indicators, which some people might not actually notice has disappeared. Okay, so parcel shelf and luggage area. Storage areas. Exciting stuff. Carpet and sound insulation. Electric seats. Heated seats. I mean, does anybody actually use heated seats outside of Sweden? Okay, sorry, Stefan?
Yeah, get rid of the whole seat foam. Why do they need to be soft?
Seat foam, you always get the exciting stuff. Seat foam, okay, let's get rid of that. Alrighty. This one might hurt. Children's seats. Okay. Pillars, let's get rid of those. Windows, yeah, get rid of that. Armrests. I mean, we can strip down a lot of weight out of the car. It depends on what you see as luxury. I mean, this starts to look like a race car, right? Which is pretty cool to me. Okay, let's get rid of the doors. Head restraints, we don't need those, right, Nicholas? And luxury, leather. And while we're at it, let's get rid of the whole instrument panel anyway. And since we're getting really close to it, what do we need a steering wheel for anyway? Okay, so now we've got a clean sheet of paper and we can pretty much do what we like, right?
Hey, Jonathan, I said it's changing the rule book, but a clean sheet of paper, I mean, that's ridiculous. You can't drive that.
Well, yeah, but just bear with me a second, okay? A car interior is really our second home. And in Sweden, you know, the Swedes are absolute genius at making things simple. They're also fantastic at making things clean. They're great at making things spacious, Scandinavian, fresh. And this is also a place that you want to be. This is where you really want to enjoy time. So, if I think of a Volvo interior of the future, I actually think of a chaise lounge. This probably from Christopher Pilar. And I also want to add a pouffe for comfort. But if I also move that across and I put another one in, I start to get back to my car, right? Okay. So what else would I want in here? Well, actually, I want an air system that I don't actually need to see. I want walls and surfaces that blend into one. I want calm-like simplicity. But I also want functionality without the mechanical interaction, like the iPod Touch. And what I would really love is like a dome-like exterior, a transparent dome. It'd be great. But what's really important for me is a safe place to be, where I can enjoy simple luxury. But I also want an interior that saves weight, material, and costs less to build in both environmental damage and dollars and cents. I see a vision of simplicity and cleanliness, but I also like to make a change where we can possibly have our values and perceptions and a change on our values, demands and acceptance. However, I believe if we can still make design exciting, then I believe that there are answers to the environmental questions. However, I'm not sure if we're ready to get rid of the cup holder yet.
Yeah, maybe it's not the cup holders that will create the better world, or the lack of them, but they are a great example on this, how to highlight the complexity of the problem, because are people really willing to give up some of these comfortable amenities like cup holders for the sake of the environment? The environmental challenge we all have in front of us is enormous. But we could see them also, like you heard a little bit today, as opportunities to move into a new design era. We don't have the answers for how the cars of the future will look like, but for sure, the cars in the future will look, feel, and behave very differently from today. And with that, ladies and gentlemen,
thank you.
Thank you very much. It was very inspiring. And driving will never be the same again, I'm sure.